Hi, welcome to another video on my propeller carriage controlled by the fischertechnik robot interface and the BeagleBoard, running Ubuntu for ARM. Last time I elevated the tracks, as you can see. Did a few tests and wasn't all successful. I had to fix these wires, and another issue is that this wiring is giving issues, and I'll show you. It will all go alright. And as you know, it stops here with the sonar. Right now things seem to go fine, but here it already gets with the lamp. And if this wire is a little bit different setup, for instance there, it may be the cause of some instability. For now it runs, and it is being stopped by these parts. However, I want to find out if the frequent instability, which still happens, can be solved by not riding on it but hanging to it. So elevating it a little bit more and making sure that the track is even elevated further, and for that it is quite usual that when I take the carriage and put it here, that it should be elevated quite a bit more, because right now it can't fit under it, and that is required for a hanging propelled device. Another thing that I kind of managed to fix is let me run the software again. Is the 1 and 0 from the lens, sensor to the light sensitive transistor. That all works for now. Not each time, but I should get something done in the software as well, because I suspect some delay somewhere. But for now it works. So the focus of this video, this episode, is to see if I can elevate the tracks and of course the sonar, which is not connected to the to this elevation, to the elevated tracks, that I can get it hanging. So let's see what happens and if it manages. When elevating it, and I already mentioned the location of the sonar, which is right here, I may save with some construction material on which the sonar is put by connecting it here. I'm not sure if this will succeed, but first let's elevate the tracks. And this is ground position, so the propeller must stay under, and I have one piece that I can use, and if I put it like this, it could stay under it. And for that I need to loosen the tracks a little bit and then try to shift it under it, and somehow I think I won't manage that exactly because of the construction of these tracks. So that may be a little problem, although when I shift this out and put it like this, I found out that it is these tracks that are not as easy. So shifting this back in, that may be a problem that it may not shift in. So let's do a test. And I can't put it in. So I need a construction where I put these upside down compared to the carriage. Another thing is, can I indeed move the tracks? This is one thing, putting it under, that is one. When lifting this up, now I have to use a combined version, and that may give a problem because there are two notches. So I'm using this instead. I put it right like that. This one back. So I have an elevated track. Now this is already enough. I hope you can see this correctly. So for now let's start the algorithm. This is high enough. It just won't run yet. So I need to modify, as said, these wheels. But the elevation is there, so that's the next task, how to solve this problem. And I'm not sure on how to solve them right now, but we'll see. With one wheel taken off the carriage and that one wheel put on another construction, it becomes clear that the base needs to be much wider. So that is what I'm going to do right now. Shifting this here for a moment. Putting one piece in here, about halfway, and then putting this construction on here. Now there, I only can hope that this is sufficient, but I already see that the wheels are not aligned, and when I put this track back in its position, it is easy to see that this width is correct. So this is not going to work. And that is a bummer, although I could put it the other way around. And even then, it is not aligned. Not aligned at all. So, two wheels next to each other is not likely to go fine. And this, and unless I can find another kind of construction, let me put this back again to what it was. So unless I can find another construction somehow, it is bound to be that it will be a monorail. So let's construct a monorail and see what happens then. I'll take this one off and put this on here. So this is ready to be a monorail, and let's see how this works out. Now, of course, the sonar is at the wrong elevation right now, so I need to take care of that as well, but let me first put this at a way that it can ride. Getting wires out of the way. Although this isn't strictly necessary, because I can just hang it like this, which, as you can see, is not exactly balanced. So what is balanced? Something like this, or putting it more to the center, even less balanced. So monorail is nice, but I have now a problem with both the balancing and the sonar, because the sonar right now is behind this one, and that's not going to help with the propeller. So I need to find a solution for that as well. Time to think again. Another idea is this construction, something like a portal, and we shift it to this side so it centers over the propeller. That should stabilize better. So let me loosen this up, hook it on, will this work? That's just a big question. A way to find out is to make the same kind of portal here. So this one here. The wheel in here. And then I have a problem here, but let's see anyway. Maybe it works, maybe it won't. And this gives me a little bit of a problem. But when I look at it like this, oops, it might work in a way of stability. I still have to find a solution for the sonar. And that may give another problem, because that sonar right now is outside of the tracks, and if I put the sonar inside of the tracks, I shorten the tracks, and I don't like that. So yeah, this is a problem, and I could move this part here so these two won't stick out that far, but still the thickness of the sonar is quite a bit. And then take it off for a moment. When it is here, that's quite a bit. Bring the idea, how big is it compared to this part? Equally as thick. So when I put it a little bit, so when I put it a little bit here, the sonar might fit in. Although now when I put it like this, there is a clear distance between the tracks and the sonar. So I will lose some of the running length of the carriage, and I don't like that, because right now it's some 12 centimeters. When I lose these 2 centimeters, the end of the tracks really don't matter anymore. That is lost distance. So that's a dilemma. Do I want a hanging monorail and lose some distance, or do I keep the elevated straight up riding with the full distance? Although it's not full distance right now either, but you get the idea. I'll have to think about it. So I have completed the carriage monorail. Let's see how this works out. I've also replaced this part, so I am using all of the tracks now. It looks like stable. Question. I hope it is completely. No, it's not completely over. That is better. It is a bit unstable. Now I need to put the sonar right there. So I remove it from this location and I put it right next here. And then I find out this may not work. So I need to put it the other side. So this is the new setup. And I haven't even bothered to look at the light, which I should do actually, because now it is colliding with the light. On the other hand, I can put it down so it doesn't collide with the light and that it senses the motor. So that's an idea as well. Let's do that. Will it work? I don't know. Only one way to find out. And this is a problem because right now this is a collision and it won't even sense it. So let me shift this a little bit backwards. The propeller can still run. But I need to put the light a little bit forward. Hoping this should work. This really should work. But will it? I don't know. Of course, I also have to connect the motor. That's going to be tight. And it was red here, I think, like this. So with all this done, let's put it to the test. Starting. All right. Didn't go too well. Let me reverse polarity. See, yeah, that works out. That's better. So right now I do have a propelled monorail. But the 8.0, I haven't seen it yet in the new results. And there's another problem, the wire interrupts the light beam as well. So let me stop the algorithm and reroute the wire like this, see if that helps out. Go again. What's going wrong now? The wire pulls it in that way, where the light sensor is. So this is not the correct idea. Let's put it longer to the test. This should be it. And it's being held, it gets stuck by in front of this. So let me put the wires on the other side and see what happens then. If this works out. Alright, last attempt for now. Okay, this is a little bit of a stability problem caused by the wire. Anyway, so much for an experiment with a hanging monorail. Thank you for watching, and certainly to be continued.